think I want to watch this today. I want to see when he talks about other things like
Back up. I think these have all been,
bounties.
I think, pretty positive for making the champion feel better to
Yeah,
play.
I'm curious.
All right, moving forward, bounties. This one is also not going to happen right away. This has been an ongoing project for a little while,
Okay.
and there's a couple things I want to talk about here. So first of all, let's talk about potential bounty systems. And what I'm going to talk about here are temporal distortions. What I mean by
What are
that
those?
is if you have an ongoing bounty system, such as like just strictly the more powerful you are, the more you give away, that is something that can happen. So for example, Defense of the Ancients, I think from the very beginning up through Dota 2, the amount of
I don't play that. I don't know.
gold a champion gives up when they die is based on their level. I'm also actually I'm certain this has been inherited from Warcraft 3 and still is retained. Is the XP something gives away is based on level as well.
Yeah, I mean, bounties, when you think about it, makes sense, but it's kind of annoying, right? Because it's kind of like you play well and get punished, you know?
In League of Legends, the amount of XP a champion gives when it dies is based on the champion level. Some other things as well, but the base value always increases based on what level the victim is when they die. And so that is functionally an ongoing bounty system, right? The value of
Okay.
something is just simply goes up the more high value they are, period, just like as an underlying level. And there's no like resetting here, right? Like champions never become worth less XP as time goes on. They only ever go up. So there's an
I mean, by that he means you have a base XP you give, and it goes up if you're ahead, I guess. So if you're 0.6, you give the same XP. And only you give less gold, I think, maybe.
ongoing thing here. Now, there's another version, which is what League of Legends uses and a lot of other games use as well, which is what I'm just going to call instantaneous bounties. What I mean by that is we can call it extemporaneous instead, but who cares, whatever. The point of this is something that says, at this point in time, I am worth more or less than other champions because of instances, because of things going on, right? In League of Legends right now, this is, are you on a 7-kill streak? Well, if so, you're worth like 600 bonus gold because you have
Okay.
built up a bounty for
But
getting 6 kills in a
does the XP go up as well or no? That's important. I'm curious.
row. And when I shut you down, it's going to go back down to +0. And so it's going to be an instantaneous payout, and then it's going to reset, which means there is a temporal distortion. What I mean by that is, hey, and we see this, for example, even in ongoing systems. So, for example, we've seen plenty of junglers say, like, hey, I'm 5-0 with a 15 CS lead on the enemy jungler who's 2-0. Why are they higher level than me? Let's go, well, the ongoing systems change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Late game jungle camps are worth more XP than early game jungle camps. Late game champ kills worth more XP than early game champ kills. Additionally, if you're getting a champ kill shared with someone else, aka they took half the XP because they are around, or maybe it's split 3 ways. Like if you get 5 kills ganking bot lane, and they get 2 kills by solo killing the enemy mid laner, that guy with 2 solo kills got more XP than you did because you were
Makes sense.
sharing lower value champions 3 ways 5 times versus a higher value champion twice solo. Yep, one's greater than the other, and it's the two. So in some cases, there aren't ways of
What this does, though, it makes it so like you matter less. It's like you win your lane, it matters less because enemies on that lane are not worth as much anymore, right? So it makes you have to go take your lead on other lanes throughout the whole game. Otherwise, you're not gonna win. You need to unpack the whole game, right? It's not enough to just win your lane, which is interesting.
undoing this, even with an ongoing system. But in the instantaneous case, right, you'd be like, hey, I'm 7-2 and have a bounty, you're 7-2 and you don't. It's like, yeah, because they went 7-0 then died twice, you went 0-2 then got 7 kills. They already paid out their bounty, you just haven't yet. So the thing is, no matter what you do, there will always be temporal distortions
Yeah, the instantaneous model works better for sure.
that I think are pretty much unsolvable. Unless you never want to do payouts and you never want to change XP values at all, which I don't think is correct at all, right? Like, I think a level 80 champion should be worth more XP than a level 1 champion, which
True.
means these distortions will simply exist, and there's no way around them if you want RPG systems to make sense at all. Now, the thing is, by changing how bounties work, which is the current goal here, we're going to have different temporal distortions. And I'm basically relying on players to understand that this is like going to happen no matter what, and that the ones you're going to get are going to be acceptable and worth doing. So the goal here of the bounties, should I talk about, yeah, let's talk about goals. The goal of the
Yes,
bounty
please.
is to actually increase the gameplay quality around bounties themselves.
How do you do that? I guess we're gonna find out after the game. Yes.
That is the primary goal, is to actually make the types of bounties that champions acquire and the times they pay out make more sense to the game overall. To overall be higher quality as a bounty system with tuning levels that we can.
I like that no matter what they do at Riot, like they want the game to be higher quality. That's really good.
Use reliably to get game states that we want, with overall making champion payouts when there is a bounty, when there isn't a bounty, to make them make more sense. The overall goal is gameplay quality. To achieve that, the design is to shift bounties to not be streak-based, but be gold-based. So streak-based...
Actually, that's so clever. Now that I think about it, right? You're 0-2, then you get 3 kills, you're 3-2, and suddenly you're bounty, right? But if it's just because you have the win streak, right? But if it's like if you get one win, one what do you call it? 1 kill, 1 death, 1 kill, 1 death, 1 kill. So you're 3-2. You don't have a bounty, right? So making it not streak dependent, streak based, would be so cool.
Bounties, the way they essentially work is says, if you got 2 kills in a row, you have a bounty on your head. If you got 3 kills in a row, that is a different bounty on your head. If you got 4 kills in a row, that is a different bounty on your head. If you have died twice in a row, you are worth under 300 gold. It doesn't matter if you are 50 and 0, then died twice in a row. Your baseline kill gold will be below 300.
That's so weird.
And it doesn't matter if you were 0 and 17. If you got 2 kills in a row, you have a 100 gold bounty on your
That's so weird.
head. Now, that is very understandable. The rules are extremely straightforward. Your streak goes up, your streak goes down. That's basically it. There's a secondary rule around if you're in the negative, farming minions will claw you back up. You can't go 0, 10 to 300 CS and be worth minimum gold, generally speaking. That's intentional. I think that is reasonable. There's another rule.
So you get punished for farming well.
That is sort of in our current system, which is on CS bounties, which is unfortunately very opaque, which is a problem here, right? Which is one of the sort of discoveries we got from that system, where, okay, the fact that I'm getting bounties from farming is something that I think is palatable and reasonable that players can accept. But because the farm is based on the average farm of the enemy team, you can go equal against the enemy AD carry and have a bounty because your top laner is winning, because their top laner is not farming.
Okay, that's odd.
And that's the part that breaks down. Like, yes, you can understand and intuit, like, hey, I'm getting more farm than the average of their team, but like something's off here. Even though the rules are consistent, they're actually pretty simple. There are things that are like, oh, players start to balk at this and it doesn't really make sense and it's not understandable. Very understandable, okay, very reasonable. So we're going to a purely gold-based system. So what it means is when you...
I really like that, but let's see how he explains it.
Get gold from killing or assisting an enemy champion, your bounty will rise. Now, it will rise up to a threshold where it's functionally 0, and then roughly the equivalent of being 2-0, you will break the threshold and now have a bounty on your head, which is very similar to now, where no matter which 2 kills you got, 2 kills is a bounty. This one says, well, once you earn about 500 gold from killing, bounty, which means that if you're killing someone who's with 100 gold 3 times, no bounty. You only got 300 gold from killing.
What about shutdowns? If you kill somebody and they have 1,000 gold bounty, right? What happens?
The nice thing is, this means that you can never betray yourself by getting a bounty. One thing that's currently true in League of Legends is getting a kill can punish you, right?
Exactly, it's so annoying. You get the double kill on bot lane, you wanna push the wave out, you recall, last second the enemy jungler arrives bot, or you get TP'd on, they kill you, and they get the bounty from you. But you did well. When they get the bounty, you get punished. It's so annoying.
If you and all of your teammates are having a horrible, horrible game, you're all worth 100 gold because you're completely chain feeding, everyone's 0 and 12, and you get a kill. All right, well, your gold value just went up
to iron gear.
300, and in fact, you're now on a 1-0 streak. One more kill, you have a bounty on your head. And your teammates all got an assist, which then decremented their death streaks. They now count as 0 and 13, or whatever, instead, right? They'll start clawing out from negative. Pick a more standard example of being 0 and 4, and they will all go up gold value. You will go up a lot.
So if you're 0 at 12 and you get double kill, you don't have bounty. I think that's clever.
Of gold value, and because that gold value gets paid out into assists as well, it's in fact 1.5x that difference. So your 300 gold kill means you're worth 300 more gold on death, because you'll pay out 200 more base and then another 100 more in the assist pool, plus all of your teammates moving themselves up as well. And it's like you literally can get punished for getting a kill. Aside from XP, sure, but like Again, there's problems here.
Yeah,
so
it's very
this is going to be the weird
problematic.
thing where like
Yeah.
someone will be negative gold value, they'll be getting crushed, they'll get a kill, and they'll still be negative, and that will be different.
That's good. Like, it's good. Like you're 0-4 or like 0-12 or whatever. You are 100 gold when you die, and it's like you get a kill suddenly. You're not 300 gold anymore. You're 150 gold, right? It's much better. It's much better.
That will be different, and I have to rely that everyone's going to understand that this is going to make sense. This also means that a 0015 Janna, who's got a 25 stack Magi's, or nearly, I think she'd only be at 20. No, she'd be at 25 stacks. Will have a bounty on her head because she has earned 15 75 gold assists, which is like 1,000 gold. She's earned 1,000.
Yeah, like so true. Like supporters that don't die in order to get assists, like they should get a bounty, right? It makes sense. Like of course they're ahead, you know.
1,000 gold from assists. It's not a big streak. It's equivalent to a 3-kill streak. But she'll have like a 150 gold bounty on her head because 0015
makes sense.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That is reasonable. She has earned profits, right? She has earned her profits from being in a lot of successful PvP combat. She is up 1,000 gold of the enemy support from getting assists. She will have a small bounty on her head from being 0015. The Magi stacks work here, right? So should assists for PvP bounties, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next thing. Because it is purely gold-based, the amount of gold you give away by dying directly is offset by the amount of gold you get from getting kills or assists, which means a champion who is 0, 5, and 5 will be negative. On live, as long as it went like death, assist, death, assist, death, assist, death, assist, the champ would always be worth 300 gold. But imagine you were getting assists in full-on team fights where you split 150 gold 4 ways, and you're like, I died and gave away 450, I got an assist and gained 40. I'm down 400 net gold in this interaction.
Yep.
Now, of course, someone else got the kill, and they went positive. Fine, and they can get the big bounty benefit here by getting an actual kill. But what happens here is because the current system is so streak-based, champions are constantly shoved to being worth 300 gold at all times. What that means is the losing team is constantly worth the same amount of gold as the winning team.
Oh my god! This you know what this means? This means the game is going to be like slower overall, right? It's gonna be slower overall. That's good.
Because it's very, very easy to get yourself reset back to 300, even if you're getting completely slammed. So what's going to happen here is the losing team will frequently, at current tuning anyway, unless we add new levers to reset this more often, the losing team will constantly be worth less than 300 gold for anyone who's not having a good game. Which means the amount of snowballing for the winning team is going to be much lower.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which I think is worthwhile for gameplay quality.
Yeah, it's because if you play jigs, right? With jigs, right? It's like you won long games, you know? It's good. It's very good. Yeah, very good.
But what this means, though, is that 5-0, like I can be 5-0, you can be 5-0, and our bounties will be different because my 5-0 was killing Scion on repeat 5 times, and it was worth 100 gold by the end of it, so I didn't get very much gold. Your 5-0 could be you ganked mid, then bot, then mid again, and everyone was full value, and so you have more bounty. We're both 5-0. You earned more gold than I did. I earned less gold than you. Your bounty is higher.
Makes sense. Gold bounties
on players to understand the distortion effect here, and understand that like it's gold based. 5-0 is not the same 5-0 at all times. And the final thing I'll talk about this is that there is still going to be functional CS bounty. So as I mentioned on the live game, if you're in a negative state and you last hit some minions, you kill some monsters, your gold value goes up. Basically, it's the way it is on live is every 2,000 gold from farm is -1 death in like functional practice. Because it's going to be gold based, it's 1,000 gold from farm is worth 100 gold from kills or whatever. Like, it could be whatever number I want it to be, right? That's not the actual numbers, doesn't really matter here. But it's like, oh yeah, every 1,000 gold makes me worth 100 more gold. So if I was worth -100, I earned 1,000 gold from farming like 10 waves. I'm a normal champion again, right? I got 60 CS, I undid everything that I lost. I'm back to 300 gold or something like that, right? That's more like accurate to the system. Okay, reasonable. The other side though is instead of positive bounties saying, hey, based on the average CS of the enemy team, give me bounties based on whatever, it's going to be like, no, dude, just farming minions gives you some bounty. Now, again, there's still a threshold, right? If I'm 000 and I get like 100 CS, I might cross threshold because I earned 1,000 gold from farming, and maybe it should be worth like +50, +100, something like that. Maybe, right? If I'm 3-0 with 100 CS, I will definitely have a bounty from both sources, right? This will all scale additively.
I think this system they want to do is much better than what we have right now.
Because I'm 3-0 and have another 1,000 gold from farm, yeah, I'm up 2,000 gold. I'm valuable, right? And so this will all have to be tuned, all these things that will all have to exist, but like, hey, that's going to be there. The other thing that we're adding in is a hook into the objective bounty system that says if you're on the losing team, depress everyone's positive bounties, right? Okay.
Depress. that's when we are on the losing team, we're depressed.
We're getting slammed, but at least my mid laner 7-0. But we are like hard losing. We're down every dragon, every lane except mid is losing. Oh, and my Syndra just gave away 1,000 gold to the Master Yi who ganked. We weren't even winning. Now?
True! Like, your teammates are doing bad. Like, your top laner is 0-7, man. You get that double kill on bot twice, right? You have a bounty now. Your jungle is hinting as well as 0-6. But you have a bounty and you fight once in your life. You die, but you kill 4 enemies. You give a bounty away to the enemy carry and it's just over. Right? They need to fix that.
If your team is objective bounties, anyone's positive bounty on your team will be suppressed based on how far behind you are. We're using that as the system for determining who's winning and losing. It doesn't have to be based on objective bounties themselves. Currently it is. We just like hook into the script basically. But this allows us to say like, hey, if you're on the losing team, we don't need the comeback mechanism. We can soften this down. We can soften it to 0 if we really want to. We can, the scalars are there, right? The ratios are there. The scoring is there. But to say, hey, we can devalue these. And so all of these have generally at this point produced high gameplay quality. I'm actually pretty confident in what we have in testing in bounties right now. I think we are getting good results here.
Nice.
However, because it is much harder to understand gold-based than a streak-based, what we discovered is there's a lot of understandability hurdles.
Yeah, honestly, this is something people don't talk about enough when it comes to game design. Like, if a feature is smart and it makes like a lot of sense to the designer, it doesn't mean it's a good feature. Why? Because the players will not see if it's good or bad, right? They don't understand. Right? So you need to make it so players understand as well, because if they don't understand, even though it's a good feature, nobody's going to like it and it's going to be a bad feature, even though it's good. It makes no sense, but we're talking about gamers. Gamers are not the smartest all the time. Right? That's how it goes. If they want to play a game, turn the brain off. Okay, let's keep watching. Right, that's kind of how it goes. So yeah,
Clear. This is part of why bounties are not ready to ship, is because consistent playtesting feedback has been that it is much, much harder for players to understand why their bounties are where they are, especially because they are so clearly different from live. Like a 0, 6, and 8 Sejuani on live will pretty much always be worth 300 gold. She will never be worth 300 gold in this system because the 0, 6, and 8 Sejuani has given away thousands of gold from dying and earned very little gold from PvP combat. She has not gotten rich off of PvP combat at all.
So we have support that's an enchanter, like gets focused on stop, or you are an ADC player and you play against Kiana mid, Rengar jungle, Tryndamere top, Draven bot with no real support, right? Like, you're not gonna do well. Chances are, on average. So you're gonna get dived a lot, you're gonna get focused a lot, you get ganked, dives, right? So it's like you should not be worth gold if you're 0-6 behind in CS and you suddenly do well, you got your item spike and you manage to get a triple kill because you're a good player and actually waited all that time for that moment and play safe as possible until then. Then you get triple kill and you get punished in the current system. I think that's really stupid, right? So new system W.
And likely hasn't gotten very rich off of jungle camps, although that's going to depend on farming bounties and how much that alleviates stuff. But if she's getting objectively far behind in gold, she's not a big champion, right? And this has a very strong effect of like making tank supports worth a lot less gold. It's going to make them much stronger. It's going to have an effect of making like low farm champions worth a lot less gold. This will be true. This will happen, of course. And so what we've sort of discovered is that like, hey, we sometimes get to states where players don't really understand how they got where they are. And so we have some things to solve, and we have some things that are in flight that we should make this better. Right, this is still an active iteration. We're still actively building this out. But there's room for a lot of improvement in terms of letting people know what's actually going on in the bounty system. So one thing, for example, by the way, is there is no record at all of any champion on live, and this hasn't been true forever, for 15 years, of a champion on live being in a negative bounty state. You only know when you got the kill, you killed the 0-5 jinx, you go, oh, I got 123 from that kill. And then you forget and you move on and you never remember ever again. Jinx has no idea she's not astrofeeding. And of course, her teammates have no idea that like the 0-6 Jinx was not giving away 300 gold per death. There's no way of knowing any of this stuff. And so like making
Bro, like you have no idea. Like it's like you don't even know if an enemy. You only know if they have a positive bounty. You have no idea how. You have no clue if they have a negative bounty or not, right?
that kind of information more understandable, more not only just like available for players to see, but also to understand the inputs that have gotten them there, are all valuable things that say, oh, okay, these are all things that are really good that'll help players understand the bounty system better, and then understand actually their place in the game and how things are going and whatnot. And again, this is sort of the part that's under active iteration right now, is increasing the understandability of the bounty system. Spent a lot of time here. I'll spend this much time again when we actually ship the thing in a few months or whatever, but I think it is progressive.
I really like that they're taking their time with this and they want to make the bounty system really good. Right now, the system is not perfect, right? They want to make it better. I like that. And it's better for them to take their time rather than release something too early. And suddenly it's actually worse than what we have right now. So it's good that they still do testing. I like that.
Very well. I'm quite confident in the gameplay results here. And we have to kind of solve players understanding it, because I think it is a much better system.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, jump select. Okay.
All right, let's move forward.
It's like, oh, this is done.